Hey game designers, in this video we're going to teach you how to use the myFadingTileMap script that's going to give more interactiveness to your environment. And let's go ahead and hit play and let's examine the problem. So you can always click on that button to go ahead and mute your game so that you can focus on what we're doing. You can see here that my character can't walk into the door frame. It can't walk behind the wall. I can never peek behind the window because these walls have colliders on them. So we're going to use this custom script that I created to give more interactiveness to your scene. So the first thing we're going to do is fix the box colliders on our door frame here. Let's go to our door object and let's go and click on Edit Box Collider and reduce the collision of those. And let's see if we can walk behind the door frame. So now you guys can see that I can walk behind my door frame. Now let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to fix the rest of the walls. So the first thing you have to do is go into our Google Classroom and we're going to download the script. The script can be found inside our Unity folder. Go ahead and click on it. And go ahead and click on the script. You don't have to open it on a separate tab. You can simply right click and click download. Just go ahead and import the file we just downloaded. So if you guys haven't already done so, let's go ahead and create a My Assets folder. Right click, folder. We'll call it My Assets. Let's go ahead and create another subfolder. And we're going to create this one called My Scripts. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and double click on My Scripts. And then we're going to right click, go to Import New Assets. And we're going to go into the download folder where your script should be. And let's go ahead and click on import. Okay. Now I needed to rename mine. You guys don't have to worry about that. So again, this script is going to be used to kind of give a collision. This script will need to use a tile map. So you can see here what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the original midground here. And we're going to disable the old tile map. So what we got now is a copy of the old tile map here. Well, my script works best if you guys split up these walls. So what we're going to do is we're going to just erase the top wall. And I'm going to duplicate the back wall right now so that we have kind of a front wall and a back wall. And I'm going to go ahead and use the eraser on the front wall and go ahead and delete the back wall. And I'm making sure that I'm on the midground here and I delete the back wall on my front wall object. And now we're going to go ahead and start thinking about how we're going to add the script. So right now we're just looking at the different components that it has. You can see here that the tile map has a collider, and that's what's causing the player not to be able to go through the walls or behind the wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add in our own colliders so that we can control where the player is. And we're going to make these very small colliders so that you can't go through the front of the wall, but we can go behind the wall. And then we're going to go ahead and create some box colliders that kind of let your player when they touch that wall, it will fade the wall so that you can see the player behind it. So we're going to go ahead and add some box colliders here. And you can see here we can click on the edit collider box. And let's go ahead and make the actual collision one first. Okay, and we're going to see that it has no trigger. Now we're going to add a second box collider, and we're going to do it for the other side of the wall. So again, this is just so that our character can't walk through the wall, but can walk behind the wall. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and remove the tilemap collider now that we have our own 2 colliders, and let's go ahead and test it. You can see now that we still can't walk. We can walk behind the wall now. We can't walk through the wall, but the problem is that the layering's not right. The wall's not fading, but we do have our own collision. So the first thing we would do is go ahead and look at the render and make sure that we change the layers here. So now if we change it to layer 0, it'll be the same layer as the character. Now let's go ahead and add in our next boss collider to trigger our script. So I'm going to go ahead and click on is trigger, and we're going to go ahead and edit the collider. And again, when the character touches this box on the left side, the wall will fade, and it will give that sense of depth. Let's go ahead and add another box collider for the other side of the door. Oops, let's go ahead and fix that. Lost track of it. Let's go ahead and collapse these to make it easier to see. Okay, there it is. Let's go ahead and put it there. And again, this is going to be is trigger, and it's going to trigger our script. So again, these colliders that we're creating, the third and fourth colliders, they don't actually create a collision. They're just going to trigger our script. So there's still a little problem with the door frame. Let's go ahead and fix the door frame. Make sure that your door frame has a layer of 0, which is the same as the player. And remember that when it uses the pivot, it will determine the tiebreaker. So when I'm in front of the door, it uses the pivot, I can seem to be in front of it and then walk behind it. So that's just another bug that we need to fix. Okay, and now I know the door frame is working properly. And now let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to fade those walls. So we're going to use this script right here. And you can just simply left click and drag it over. And as long as it has the box collider 2D, the script will actually work. So now you can see here, as I walk behind, the door completely fades, right? So it's using that box collider trigger to turn off the wall when I walk behind it. Now, the great part about this script is that you can actually change the percentage of transparency. The arguments are between 0 and 1, 0 being completely invisible. And let's go ahead and try something like 0.5. You can see now that I can walk behind the wall, and I can come out, I can come back in, and I can actually look like I'm behind the wall. So now we're going to go ahead and just do the same thing to the back wall. And we're just going to kind of repeat the same process here on our back wall. So let's go ahead and rename it. Let's go ahead and turn off the old wall. Let's go ahead and erase that. And let's go ahead and repaint our back wall here. And we duplicated all the box colliders, so all we have to do now is adjust them all. And now we're going to go ahead and paint real quickly the back wall. I'm just going to paint it real quick. And now I'm going to just basically edit the colliders. So you can turn and toggle off the box colliders, and that will show us which one we are editing. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this one up here to be the physical collider so that we can't go through the wall. And again, I'm turning on and off and trying to figure out which one this one is. This one's the one that's going to be our detection for our script. So I'm going to move that up here so that we can walk behind the wall. And let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so you can see here that this is the collider for the bottom of the wall. So again, we can't walk through the wall here. And then I'm going to test the last one. The last one's going to be the collider on the right. Okay, so let's go ahead and enable both walls, and let's go ahead and put our final test and see if our script works. So let's go ahead and hit play. And you can see now that our wall is working over here. And let's go ahead and test the top wall. I can walk in front of the wall. I can walk behind the wall. I can't walk through the wall. And that's it, folks. That will now confirm that our script is working, and we now can create a much more interactive environment. I'll see you guys in the next video.